The other thing that's on this weekend, Jane Longhurst's involved in this too, she's comparing it, is Symphony Under the Stars. It's happening at Tolosa Park on Saturday night, and someone's flown back from London especially for this, I think. She's a violinist. I'm talking about local woman Katerina Nazarova. Good morning, Katerina.
Good morning.
Have you flown back especially for this, or was it just a coincidence?
No, I did. I flew back especially for it.
Well, lucky you with the weather that's going on in London at the moment.
Oh, I know. I got out just in time.
Now, who's still at home? How connected are you still to Tasmania?
My parents live here, my brother's here, aunts, uncles, grandparents, so, most of my pretty much immediate family is still here.
Oh, it'll be hard to go back home then, I imagine. Now, your first solo performance, you're 11 years old with the Tasmanian Symphony Orchestra, and it was broadcast nationally on ABC Radio. So when did you start playing?
Very, very early on. I got my first violin just before my second birthday, actually. So,
how does that happen? It must be a musical family.
Yes, no, my mother's a violin and piano teacher, and apparently when I was little I kept trying to pinch her violin and her students' violins, and so she thought, well, instead of me ruining them, she thought she better get me my own violin so I can ruin that one instead.
Have you got videos or footage of you playing as a 2-year-old?
I don't think so. There's various photographs floating around of me on Christmas Day opening it up to a look of absolute amazement.
You don't still have it in the collection, do you?
Oh, I do, yeah. I've still got it. Yeah.
Oh, that's gorgeous.
Yeah.
Now, you won a Young Performers Award in 2012, but then what took you to London? How did you end up working in London? And who do you work with?
Well, I went across there to study for my university. I went to London to study there and ended up staying there, basically. I did studying for about 6 or 7 years and then started working there afterwards, and I've stayed.
Now, you're playing on Saturday night at Tolosa Park in Glenorchy, under the stars, hopefully. Fingers crossed.
Hopefully. Some stars.
Where else around the world have you performed under the stars?
I've done lots of travelling. I've been all over the world. I mean, this year, touring already, I've been to Turkey and Germany and Holland and Ireland. And last year I did a music festival in Mumbai for about 10 days.
Wow, what was that like?
Oh, that was amazing. Absolutely fantastic. Totally different experience. So, no, it was quite something.
It would be. I'm thinking I'm a bit of a foodaholic. I'm thinking of all the different cuisines you've tried this year as well as
so
your
much.
performances. You've been living and working in London, is it for 10 years now or more?
Yeah, over 10 years, about 10 and a half.
How's Tasmania's image changed since you've been away?
Oh, well, I mean, some of it's still exactly the same. A lot of it doesn't change, but then I think you come back and little things change. I notice little things, and it's definitely more popular with people and tourists and things like this. It's more on the map, I seem to notice, than it used to be.
Is it on the map in London?
It does. It makes appearances occasionally. Yes.
Yes. Now, what can we expect on Saturday night? What are you playing?
I'm playing 2 pieces. First up will be the last movement of the Bruch Violin Concerto in G minor, which I will be performing the whole thing actually next week with the Melbourne Symphony Orchestra. And then in the second half of the concert tomorrow night, I'll be performing Waxman's Carmen Fantasy. So that's quite a show-off work, lots of pyrotechnics, and it's very flashy and fast.
Do you get all dressed up? Do you travel with an extensive wardrobe?
I'd say it's extensive enough. Definitely, yes.
All right, so 7 o'clock on Saturday night at Tolosa Park in Glenorchy. Entry's free. You'll get to meet Jane Longhurst as well, Katerina. You could come this morning if you want to go for a walk at 10 to 8 up to the Gunpowder magazine and meet her ahead of time.
Oh, right, yes. Okay.
We look forward to seeing you playing, and pleasure to have you back in the state. How often do you get back home?
Probably an average about once a year or so.
Okay.
Yeah, about that.
Lovely. Thanks for talking to us this morning. That's Katerina Nazarova. She's a violinist, an exceptional violinist. She's performing this weekend at Symphony Under the Stars. Started learning piano and violin at such a young age. She got her own violin at the age of 2. Absolutely remarkable.